Thank you very much to Tracy Stoll and James Lapin for becoming grassroots members over on Patreon. Just to let you guys know that I will be shifting memberships from YouTube to Patreon as I can offer more perks over there. And thank you to all current members of the Kinetic Rugby League channel. Thank you very much for your support. But let's get on with the video. Starting with 12th and 11th, as they're basically kind of in the same group for me at the bottom of this list. Moving down one, I have Castleford Tigers, and moving up one, I have Salford Red Devils. Castleford Tigers conceded 62 points against Wigan at the weekend. They also had 13 errors and 45 missed tackles. The defence was never that good anyway, but it has kind of just fallen right off a cliff in the last few months. And with Salford, they only found one try, like Castleford at the weekend, but at least they had a lead at half-time, and their defence actually looked competent this week in plenty of moments. And if you look at some of the tries they conceded as well, it's not like they were opened up left, right and centre like Castleford was. The tries came from second phases where Huddersfield could find some offloads, or they'd bump off a defender and find a new gap to crash over the line, or it would be from a kick. It wasn't until the end of the game where Salford were actually opened up. So this kind of resets things again. Both are clearly in the bottom two for me, but I have Castleford in 12th and Salford in 11th. In the next group of teams, still in 10th, I have Warrington Wolves. Moving down one into 9th, I have Huddersfield Giants, and moving up one into 8th, I have Catalans Dragons. These three are roughly in the same group for me, but I do think Warrington are very clearly number 10 as of right now. Wire lacked a lot of effort against Hull FC. Both sides looked depleted on paper, which kind of led me to believe that this would be a fairly even fight in some areas, but Warrington put on a display that clearly signals to everyone else, we haven't made playoffs and we just don't care anymore. Huddersfield managed to get the win against Salford, but it wasn't exactly convincing. They're in the same boat as Warrington, in that they can't make the playoffs, but they've at least shown signs in the last few months that they actually care. There's quality in that side as well, and they're going to keep working hard to make up for the poor performances earlier in the season. And then you've got the Catalans Dragons. They haven't been a good side at all this year. I'd still say they're actually the most disappointing side this year based on the squad that they came into the season with, but they've at least looked a little bit better in the last few weeks, and their performance against Leeds at the weekend was really, really professional. The kicking from Farge and Kiri was great. The defence and discipline off the back of it was great as well, and they didn't allow many easy opportunities for Leeds. So Warrington will stay where they are in 10th, Huddersfield move down one, and Catalans will move up one into 8th. But on to the next bunch, remaining where they are. In 7th, I have Hull FC, and in 6th, I have Wakefield Trinity. These sides are in a group of their own at the moment. There's a pretty decent gap to Catalans, but they're not too far off 5th place at this point. As mentioned before, Hull FC were depleted, especially in the forwards, but everyone that came in to fill those voids put in so much effort. Hull played with energy and they executed really well in possession on top of it. And defensively, they didn't even concede a try, just a penalty early on. Now, 3 of the tries they scored were against 12 men, but even in Super League, it can be hard for teams just to even get 2 tries in that time. And even if we remove those tries completely, they still win comfortably. Hull FC put in a really solid effort. But then you look at Wakefield, who stepped up massively this week. We all know that they can compete through the middle, they can defend well, and they can open teams up towards the edges when they move with pace. But they hadn't really been putting out their best performances in the last few months, compared to earlier in the year anyway. But this time against Hull KR of all teams, they turned up in all areas. They were too composed, too quick, and very disciplined. They're looking most likely to take 6th over Hull FC as of right now, and that's the kind of high-level performance that they needed before getting into the biggest games of the year. So Hull FC will stay in 7th, and Wakefield will stay in 6th. On to 5th, and moving down one this week, I have St Helens. I did back them to win against Leigh, but maybe didn't consider their attack would be that bad. I thought their forward pack and defence would actually be enough to get it done in an important game like this, but both their forward pack and defence weren't really up to scratch. They did lose Alex Walmsley in the first half, so that didn't help, but I don't think they were competing with Leigh, even when he was on the field. The kicking from Mbai was poor, unfortunately. He's had some games this year where his kicking has been Saints' best asset in some games, but at the weekend, there were just way too many misplaced kicks. And of course, the biggest issue remains their offence. They looked so much better a few weeks back, but it's still a major concern. So for me, St Helens, after their performance, will move down one into 5th. On to 4th place, and moving up one, I have the Leigh Leopards. They're actually on the joint best form as of right now. They've won 4 games in a row. The reason why they're not higher up, because I know people will question it, is because of the 4-game run that they had before this, which was against Warrington. They weren't that convincing. Leeds, they weren't that convincing either, but that's a tough side. Hull FC, they were actually poor against. I think Hull FC dominated. And the first half against Salford was not great at all. Now, they're working their way back up their list. Salford was a win, and they've got 3 other wins beyond that. So they are working their way back up the list with really dominant performances on both sides of the ball in the last few weeks. With their pack at full strength, it's one of the best in the league as well. Their attack is really dangerous, especially when Lamb gets his hands on the ball. He's at 40 assists as of right now, which is ridiculous. And now their defence is stepping up. They've conceded just 8.5 points per game in their last 4 games. So Leigh Leopards really starting to hit their peak now. We'll move up 1 into 4th. On to 3rd, and moving down 1 this week, I have Hull Kingston Rovers. I did mention in my predictions video that there are 2 areas that they still need to work on as of right now going into playoffs. I didn't think it would be much of an issue, given how Wakefield had played recently, but those areas were missed tackles and errors, meaning low completion rate as well. Now, they only had 6 errors, which isn't terrible, that's fine, but the timing of those errors didn't help at all, and they missed 37 tackles, which is basically double that of Wakefield. They didn't find a break until 3 minutes into the second half, and that was their only line break of the game, I believe. And throughout the game, they looked sloppy, unsettled, void of ideas, and a little lazy with the ball sometimes. They're still a great side. Maybe they just had an off day, and Wakefield were fantastic, to be fair to them. But based on that performance and the efforts of another side to move up, Hull KR will move down 1 into 3rd. In 2nd place, and also moving down 1 this week, I have Leeds Rhinos. They were on a 5-game win streak before their loss to Catalans at the weekend, so there's no panic just yet, but 2 weeks running, their attack has looked really poor. They're still competing through the middle, since their pack is so good. They keep getting offloads, which suits Miller, Croft, and Connor when he's there, and their defence is great as well. This is the most they've conceded in the last 10 games, by the way, and it was only 16, but their attack has been an issue for the last 2 weeks. They weren't slow moving the ball, just flat, and a bit unimaginative as well. I think they were too reliant on individuals, just making their own plays by themselves to get the job done. I think Catalans still deserve a lot of credit in this one for how they played. Their kicking and defence really pinned Leeds back on their own 20 on a lot of occasions, but Leeds need to find the energy in defence and creativity in attack for next week and for playoffs, but they will move down 1 into 2nd. So, we move on to 1st place. This team has not been in this position since round 13. Moving up 2, I have Wigan Warriors. Joint best form in the league right now with Leigh, winning 4 games in a row. Wigan are looking quite healthy right now, with Miskey, Thompson, and French coming back into the side. In the last 4 weeks, they've conceded an average of 4 points per game and scored 41 points per game. I think Jack Faramond had his best game in a Wigan shirt by a country mile. He was fantastic. To me, very simply, there's not too much else to say, Wigan, as of this point right now, are the most dangerous side in Super League. They will move up 2 into 1st. So there you have my Super League round 26 power rankings. If you guys have your own list, let me know in the comments section down below, or if you disagree with anything in this list, let me know in the comments as well. But as always, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. It does help to get the video out there to more people. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more Kinetic Rugby League content. And if you'd like to become a member, you can do it by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link in the description down below. But that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.